Well, guys, I'm finally back from my New Year's break. It's funny because I call it a break, but it really wasn't a break. The whole time I have been working on other stuff for the channel. There's some new cool ideas that I have coming into this new season, and can't really talk about them yet because they're not done. But the point is that I'm back and we're doing some new bad movies, which, of course, I know all you are excited for. So this is another one of those movies that you guys have been requesting frequently for a long time now. And what's funny is that while I was writing this review, someone actually requested it again on the Facebook page. So here it is, finally, Samurai Cop. I would have to say this is probably, it's up there with Troll 2, easily. As it's a movie that you just have to see. So even though you've watched this review, to get the full effect, you gotta watch it. There's just so much to talk about. That's why this review is gonna be so long, because I had to stop the movie probably every 60 seconds or so and write something down. It's amazing. It's almost like they were, you couldn't make a movie this bad if you were trying. So it's easily one of the best bad movies I've ever seen, and obviously a clear guilty pleasure of mine. But what's so amazing about it is that it manages to fail so incredibly at every single element. I have no words for it. I mean, Troll 2 had so many flaws from a technical and acting standpoint, but I felt that at least that movie tried to have a plot. I mean, it wasn't good, obviously, but at least they made an attempt. Yeah, the plot for Samurai Cop is... I really don't know. But I'm just going to tell you that this is one of those movies that you have to see. I am actually recommending watching this movie because it really needs to be seen to be believed. Once again, I'm going to start off by talking about the poster for this movie, because like a lot of bad movies, it's kind of misleading. First off, you're never going to see the Samurai Cop in a police uniform at all. So just kill any hopes that you had of that right now. Throughout this movie, you'll see him mostly in jeans and a leather jacket, that or a Speedo. It's obvious that he's decapitated someone here, and that never happens in the movie. Then there's this badge down here with some Japanese writing. Now, I don't know Japanese at all, but I actually tried to see if I could translate this using whatever tools I could find on the internet. And the best that I could come up with is that this says, "Contact blood, hot water, eyes of blood." Now, I don't think that's actually what that says, but you know, with this movie, anything is possible. And the intro music to this movie actually kind of reminds me of old 80s Nintendo games. Then the movie just abruptly starts with Gerald Okamura, who plays a character called Okamura, talking about how they're not an established gang yet. At this point, I wasn't sure if he was the boss of the gang or what, but that's why it's good that we have Red here to clear things up.
Here comes the boss.
So this guy, Fujiyama, is the boss, which is now obvious because of his cool shades that actually reflect the film crew, which is also probably why they're just abruptly gone in the next shot. Fujiyama gives the order to go and kill the leader of this other gang. So this guy, Yamashita, takes the gang over there to go kill him.
In no way we go under Fujiyama's flag.
I mean, wow. Did you decide to record just that guy's ADR in an echo chamber or what? So Yamashita stabs the boss, and then there's this hilarious fight scene, which is one of many. And you can tell with some of the shots here, they just undercranked the camera to make it look like it's all happening very fast. And this is actually going to happen a lot in this movie. The funny thing is, the scene doesn't end up showing the dead bodies of the other gang. It just ends with the faces of the bad guys and Yamashita saying the job's done. But the job isn't done. I mean, all you did was stab the guy, and you can see him clearly walking away in this shot, so... he could have survived that. But anyways, then we have this shot of a police sign, and with a few of the shots in this movie, for whatever reason, I think they just didn't roll the camera long enough. So they have to use a lot of shots to the very last frame. And this could be either that they didn't roll the camera long enough or that the editor's terrible. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was both. It probably is. When you're shooting on film, once you stop rolling, the last few frames of the shot will be flashed because as the motor stops, the roll slows down. So the last couple frames are exposed for longer, which is why unless you're trying to save as much film as possible and you're working on a shoestring budget, it's always a good idea to stop the roll about a half second to a second after the director says cut. That way you leave a little bit of buffer room on the reel, and trust me, your editor will thank you for this. Anyways, we're now introduced to Samurai Cop, and I have to say the first time I saw this, I nearly fell off of the couch. I actually thought he was going undercover and that this was some sort of terrible disguise with a wig and a hat, probably because it's obvious that it is just a wig. And I love how the hat can't fit because of it, so it just kind of has to gently rest on top of the hair. You know, like how douchebags wear them these days. It's obviously not his hair in this shot. It isn't. He has long hair in the movie, but in this shot, that is completely different hair. That is obviously a wig. My guess is that this was a reshoot that they did after they were done, principal photography. So he probably cut his hair between then and doing this reshoot. That's who cares? So anyways, Samurai Cop and his partner Frank go to do a drug bust, and this of course leads to a hilarious car chase, which consists of the bad guys shooting at them and Samurai Cop constantly telling Frank to shoot them.
Shoot! Shoot him! Shoot! Shoot him! Shoot! Shoot him! Shoot! Shoot! You got it.
Even when they hit a guy and then run over him, the reaction is just priceless.
Hey man, watch it! Watch it! Oh man!
Of course, as you would expect, it ends with the van crashing, exploding, and a stunt guy being lit on fire. Then Samurai Cop tells the chick police officer in the helicopter that he'll see her later at her place. And then we just cut to this. And trust me, it's not the last time we're gonna get a scene like this either. Seriously, this movie has just as many long and pointless sex scenes as The Room. Then we have this scene, and at first I didn't know what was going to happen, but thankfully, once again, Red is there to clear things up.
The boss is coming.
So the boss freaks out and says he wants the driver's head cut off and put on his piano, which seems like a reasonable request, so they go to the hospital as represented by this shot. Really? You couldn't get any closer? You just had to shoot the building through these trees? Okay, fine. So Samurai Cop and Frank go to check on the driver of the van, and here we have probably one of the worst scenes of all time. I'm gonna try and go through it piece by piece. First, they ask the nurse if he can answer a few questions, and she says not for a few weeks because he's all burned, obviously. And then it goes right to this.
Do you like what you see?
I love what I see.
Would you like to touch what you see?
I mean, wow, is she a nurse or a Bourbon Street hooker? And Samurai Cop's reaction is incredible.
Yes, I would.
Would you like to f me?
Bingo.
Wow, how could any woman resist his charm? So she grabs his junk and says that there's nothing there. And these reaction shots from Frank are almost unbearable, especially when they just use the same two shots repeatedly. The funny thing about that scene is that it's completely pointless. Entirely. I mean, you try and paint Samurai Cop as this ladies' man throughout the movie, but then you add in just this one scene where he gets dissed up completely. And you may be thinking, oh, she's the one who's a challenge to him. Maybe she'll show up later in the movie and become the love interest. But no, she's just here for this one pointless interaction. So Samurai Cop tells another officer not to let anyone in the room unless they're a doctor or a nurse. But then Red shows up posing as a nurse and says she has to change the garbage because, Apparently that's what nurses do instead of janitorial staff. Turns out that Yamashita was hiding in the cart and he proceeds to cut the guy's head off. So they're being followed by security on their way out of the hospital, but once they get outside, they're confronted by what appears to be just random people. And the funny thing is they just dub over the same voice for each person, and this happens multiple times.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to talk to you. Ah! Oh! Hey, wait a minute. Stop. Ah! Oh!
You're the one that talked me into bringing this moron from San Diego to fight the Japanese katana gang.
Yeah, that's definitely the take you should go with. The one where the actor flubs his line.
A man in our custody lost his head. An officer lost his hand.
Who? Who lost their hand? Seriously, this had me scratching my head for a bit. I actually went back through the movie trying to find out where a police officer loses his hand, and guess what? Never happened. And I'm actually convinced that this may hold the record for the amount of times 1 week is said in a scene. It's hilarious.
This man has been here 1 week and I almost lost my job. If he's here one more week, I will end up in jail and die of a heart attack, and I don't like that.
Hey, I've been here 1 week.
And just how long will it take you to bring them to their knees? 1 week?
This also has one of the weirdest and most awkward ends to a scene I've ever witnessed.
You son of a bitch! Come back here, you mother...
Now this next scene takes place in a restaurant, and you know the mark of a non-actor when they look directly at the camera. So in this scene, Samurai Cop confronts Fujiyama in the restaurant, and I'm just gonna bring this up now. I mean, they call him Samurai Cop because apparently, as they explained in the movie, he received his samurai training from the masters in Japan, which I find interesting because he doesn't seem to display many of the characteristics of a samurai. Things like nobility, honor, self-control. And I also love how they say he speaks fluent Japanese, which is probably why he stumbles over those Japanese names.
What's his name? Omaha, Yamaha, whatever his name is, right? Are you Fujiyama?
Now the speech he gives in this scene is hilarious, and he basically threatens to kill the boss and his gang.
Who are you? I'm a cop. Now I'm telling these son of a bitches that we respect the Japanese of this country who are honest businessmen. And yeah, this is the land of opportunity for legitimate business. Now I'm telling these motherfuckers that if they continue killing our children to make their precious millions that they deposit in their secret Swiss bank accounts, I'll have their stinking bodies in garbage bags and ship them back to Japan for fertilizer.
And the really funny part is at the end when he even threatens the guy's lawyer, who has really done nothing wrong. Then we have one of the most bizarre and pointless interactions I've ever seen in a movie.
Where's her father?
Bang!
Who shot him?
He!
Who?
Him!
Who's him?
Himself!
Oh, he committed suicide.
Yes!
Outside, we finally get what I guess you could call a fight scene. And this is a good opportunity to bring up the seemingly endless and random cast of characters that are part of this gang. I mean, being a Japanese gang, I kind of assumed that at least most of them would be Japanese, but instead it's quite the opposite. I've never seen so much diversity in a criminal gang before. I mean, it pretty much runs the gamut. It's almost like they just went around Los Angeles asking every single person they saw if they wanted to be in a movie. That's probably what happened here. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the truth, because a lot of these people are clearly not actors. So we have this fight scene which is hilariously choreographed and leads to some pretty awesome moments like this.